Job interview. What can go wrong? I know how it feels to be in a situation where you want a job interview so badly and you get frustrated when you don't get the job interview. At least a job interview. There are many reasons why things can go wrong, and in today's short video, we are going to talk about this kind of reasons and I try to help you out. My name is Chris and thank you for watching today's video. We are going to talk about what can go wrong if you are in a job interview and what have I done in the past to fix this kind of situation. But first, let's go one step back. How do you get a job interview first of all? Or what can I give you some advice? Or what is my advice to support you to get at least a job interview? So what have I done? I called the recruiter in advance before I applied, because I asked them, hey, is this job offer still available or not? Because if not, you waste a lot of time. And if so, then you can just have a quick chat with the recruiter so that she or he has your CV or at least your name in the back of her mind. And this is really important because then you can say to her, hey, I'm going to apply in the next 30 minutes. And then you are freshly in the back of her mind or his mind. So don't forget that. So call them in advance. So let's jump directly. What can go basically wrong when you are in a job interview? And I've done these mistakes. So the first thing is, and it's, I don't know what to say. It shouldn't be normal, but not prepared when you are in a job interview. So nowadays we have a lot of helping systems. You can talk to ChatGPT, you can do basically everything. But please be prepared. That means, for example, take some notes, in advance. And if you are in the situation, then read it, Tell the people from the HR or whoever is going to talk with you about the job interview that you have some notes here, but sometimes it's quite hard to remember everything. So, but at least you have some notes, and this shows the guy who's interviewing you that you are at least prepared, And if you don't know anything, it doesn't matter in the end. Of course, it depends sometimes if it's an entry level or professional level, but if it's an entry level, come on, guys. Just be prepared and take some notes. This is the first thing which is really important. Then the second thing is what also happens to me is arriving too late. This is just a German thing. Try to be on point. Sometimes the HR people are also late, but they don't care often. They don't care. At least try that you are on time. This is really important. Also, an easy, simple trick, but the people forgot this often. So please try to remember to be on point when it's all about your job interview. Then the next advice, pretending too much. Try to stay authentic. This is also an important thing. It sounds so easy, to be empathetic or authentic, because it's a stressful situation. But if you stay as you are, if you apply for a job where you don't belong, you're the opposite, or the guy or the girl who's interviewing you, she or he recognize it. He recognize it, and then both of you waste a lot of time. So if you stay authentic and you like the job, then you will get at least this. You are in a situation where you get on a good level with your opposite, who's going to interview then. So don't forget, try to stay authentic, stay as you are, calm, I mean, this is not an easy situation for both of you. I mean, the girl who's interviewing you is, of course, more experienced in this kind of field, but she knows or he knows that you are in a stressful situation. But try to stay authentic. Unprepared, try to stay authentic. Sometimes what I recognize when I talk to people is that they sit in front of the camera when it's an online interview, like I don't know what to say, sitting there like a wet sack during the online interview. I can't explain it in other words, If you work for a sales department, for example, try to um, stay in a positive way in front of the camera, because later on maybe you have to sell something and sometimes you don't even recognize it by yourself. It's quite hard to recognize it by yourself. So try to prepare yourself a little bit more to talk in front of the camera. This is not an easy thing. It's quite hard. Even for me, if I'm doing these videos, it's quite hard, especially because English is not my first language, so I try to give my best. And so try to give your best when you sit in front of the camera. Not like a wet sack, for example. Do it more, just stay normal, push your back a little bit upwards or something like this. And then it shows that you are positively, and it shows more authentic ways. Yeah, this is, there are no other words for me right now. Also, a good thing is that the people think just because they have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or something like this, they can be arrogant and not be polite or something like this. Try to avoid this kind of things. This is also an easy thing to say, yeah, to be arrogant, because if you say something about your skills and the interviewer are going to ask you about the skills, and you say, hey, I'm super in Excel, and at the end of the day you can't do anything in Excel, for example, then it doesn't look that fine. Also here, going back, try to stay authentic. This is an easy thing. This is the best way which I can, which you get maybe the job at the end of the day. Also, a really important thing is authentic on the one hand and sympathetic on the other hand. Because often it's like being sympathetic is the key for success, because later on your boss have to work with you. Yeah, and if you are not a sympathetic guy, especially when you are on an entry level, because basically everybody can practice you, showing you on the job what you have to do, and if you don't have all of the skills, it doesn't matter when it's an entry level, but you have to be a sympathetic guy, yeah, a positive guy in front of the camera. Try to be sympathetic. As mentioned, it's such a stressful situation, but the more job interviews you have, the better it is sometimes. Yeah, of course, it shouldn't be like that, because if you get the job, then why have another job interview in front of the camera and stress yourself out? It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The more practice you get, the better it is. So these are basically the tips which I can give you. It sounds easy, and I think you heard a lot of them. But if you are in the situation, please try to remember one or two tips which I gave you in today's video, especially how you get a job interview tip, which is call them in advance. And another important thing, because before we end today's video, if you finish your job interview, write them a short message. Write them an email, for example. Tell them, hey, thank you for today's job interview. It would be great to get this job. Some nice words. It doesn't matter in the end. Just some nice words, so that they recognize, okay, he or she is super motivated. And this is also an important thing, because 80 to 90% of the people don't do this, because they are in a job interview, and after the job interview they think, oh, finally it's over. And they forget that the process will continue. So if you are one of the 10% writing a short email saying, hey, thank you once again for today's job interview, I really appreciate it if I can go into the next round or something like this. Then they have you in the back of your mind, because they know that you are super motivated. Thank you very much for today's listening. As mentioned, I know this kind of tips are often in the internet. But if one or two tips are going to help you to go through the job interview process precisely, then I'm happy. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy and stay tuned.